is this Insert Game being here with a new video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing my trailer analysis and going over at least a couple other things from the December 3rd, 2024 Rockstar Newswire, which is for what was kind of known as like a placeholder name of Winter 2024 DLC, with now an official name of GTA Online, Agents of Sabotage, coming in December 10, with obviously a new trailer to watch. So, going into like these few little paragraphs, there's not necessarily too much I wanted to mention here. Former FIB operative apparently is going to be a whole new character, which I think I was having a whole discussion on my last video, and I pretty much expected that kind of to be a good possibility. Since I was trying to think of a bunch of like the FIB people that were even still alive after story mode, considering option C being a canon ending, which is pretty much confirmed by other contents in the game as well. And yeah, the only one that really truly came to mind with much honesty was Dave Norton. So yeah, I couldn't think of all that many like FIB ones that I feel could have made too much sense. So it seems it's going to be either some new character or some character that's just in the online and not in the story mode at least. If they did appear before, something for Jodi Marshall there. So that will be a kind of a new contact pretty much, or maybe even a new contact for FIB there. And aside for that, I don't think there's too much for this paragraph here. And yes, the Darnell Bros Garment Factory. It's already been confirmed that's where the property, at least one option for property, at least if not the only option, which I would not be surprised if it ends up being the only option for the property, to be completely honest. That's pretty much the location for that. And true, most legendary crimes obviously definitely have took place there when it comes to single player. The original heist, which was still in that like kind of like 2013 timeline, as far as I'm aware for sure. And yeah, Jodi and Pavel will be your couple main people running this like gig and all that shit. As has pretty much, I believe, been kind of mostly mentioned in the November 1st Rockstar Newswire. I'm pretty sure it was from November 1st. Doing those kind of like usual like robbery kind of things, whatever, as you do in some of the other updates. And then if you need any confirmation more, I think it was pretty apparent by the Plus subscription end date currently, the DLC will be coming out on December 10th. And also, for some reason, there are those kind of people that wonder that like every DLC, I feel there kind of are for some reason. This update still is coming to those HN consoles of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, along with all the usual stuff as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I believe, for the wording here and whatnot. Now, I'm not going to play the audio because I think they usually put like music and stuff in the in-game soundtrack or like radio stations and whatnot. Don't want to get like a claim or anything. And I think when you play out the whole like thing and don't just do snippets of it and stuff, I think they tend to claim that too. And yeah, I'm also not going full screen because of the way I'm recording it. I don't think I'm really allowed to without it kind of messing with the recording. So this will just have to do. So, I didn't find anything too interesting. I was in the first couple sections, like couple seconds, whatever. Kind of usually just shows like the rating of the game and whatnot. But yeah, I don't think I can really tell anything about any sort of like new weaponry per se on the Terrorbyte yet or anything so far. Unlike something like the Avenger and the new like weaponry and stuff it received. Whatever. Basically, during that whole DLC. For Los Santos Mercenaries when it got the updates for the Avenger or whatever. So, yes. Yeah, I think the red kind of there is like a bit of a bravado logo or something, so it's probably not Banshee, whatever that was. And like that one like first screenshot of like November 1st Rockstar Newswire or whatever. And I do believe this is a new vehicle, and I believe there's a better look of that like later on. And also the rest is just like buzzards and whatnot. You have the 2 characters that you'll be working with and whatnot, basically, obviously. And is it just me, or do I get like at least like Lopez coming in, like vibes of the character, the online character in this section here? Interesting. And yeah, this character here is that Jodi Marshall, by the way. Since I'm starting with this and not the like image you see before you play the trailer, since it's kind of just most convenient for me to do it this way, kind of how I have to do things. Jester RR here. Apparently, people say this has some kind of like wide body modifications and whatnot. So the wide body could maybe just be like new modifications being applied to it or something. They have went back to older vehicles in the past and whatnot, if like Criminal Enterprise DLC, if it comes to mind, and like added new modifications. Or it could be maybe even getting like the Benny's treatment with like a Benny's upgrade, since there's like just a classic wide body and stuff like that, I believe, for Benny's upgrades. Who knows? That's what I've heard, at least, over on like Twitter/X and everything. Probably some previews of what the Darnell Bros Garment Factory or whatever is going to be looking like when it gets updated. And there's some interesting like relics or whatever the fuck. Might be discussing that more when I get to the image. Yeah, not necessarily too much for a bit there that I want to speak of or anything. Yeah, I think that's just the mammoth tool and like a cargo plane. I don't think there's really anything interesting here. Unless for some reason this tool ends up having like those water bombs that you can use in like the one like yacht mission basically from like Los Santos Summer Special DLC. Who knows though. Here, there's probably like another look at that, like Banshee, whatever, from that one screenshot from the initial newswire, like I said. And I think there's the text of GTS there, but you might even be able to see that back then too, or whatever. Okay, so this could be like a Banshee GTS, this could end up being a name or something. Over here, it looks like you'll be getting a livery support ad for the Terrorbyte, and that's cool. I don't think it currently has the livery support, so that'll definitely be nice to be able to add liveries to it. I'd also kind of like them to add like colored headlights as like another little modification for like the colored headlights you can do at like the arena and whatnot. That would be kind of cool instead of being stuck with the Xeon headlights. And maybe another slight look at that one vehicle, but not really good look there. Per se, just some stuff going on with like the robberies or whatever you want to be doing. And yeah, I don't think there's too much until here. With what looks to be a new police vehicle I'll get into. And then, yeah, I think that's the Banshee, the Jester RR, like, wide body thing, whatever. I think there's a better look at that in a little. Yeah, what is that, like a Dinka logo? I think that's a Dinka logo there. So I believe that's going to be some kind of new Dinka vehicle. Not really the biggest understanding vehicles in the game or whatever, so that's all I'm going to really be able to provide. And apparently here, as far as I hear, this is going to be a police variant of the Coquette D10. Gain a side view here, basically. And then, yeah. For some reason, there's a bunch of RC Banditos, whatever, whether it be for a mission or something else, not really sure. Some more moments between Pavel and And a new character, of course, Jodi Marshall. And then, yeah, here's just a bunch of old vehicles. I don't think there's like a new boat or anything here. Signs for a possible destroyed police predator. Maybe that's what the community kind of think. Maybe that's what the community be feeling a bit about the vehicle unlock for the $20 trillion if we do end up unlocking it. I've not necessarily heard the greatest about possibly being able to unlock it, but who knows? Might be some like free aim, like drops of like millions and billions, trillions of dollars and shit. Who knows, really? With those community challenges, sometimes. And yeah, here I don't really know if there's a good look at any sort of like new modifications. That's possibly this thing, not really sure. Like, not sure if there's a new look at like what the collectible scanner will end up looking like or something. There might be a scanner for Terrorbyte right now, but you might not be able to look at what it looks like on the inside or something. Not really sure. And then yes, here it looks like you have the Mount Chilliad kind of interior that you have in like the Doomsday Heist, like Doomsday scenario. Interestingly, with what looks to be squatties and the scarab for whatever reason. Yes, there's Agents of Sabotage logo and the date. Obviously, it comes out, all that kind of stuff. Grand Theft Online logo. So I'm gonna see if I can reload this and go over this. Okay, so yeah, here I noticed this thing be looking like a hidden package from like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I saw on like X. I'm not really the only one that has that thought. That was the first thing I thought of when I saw this, was like the hidden package thing, at least when I saw this moment. And I hear even this might have some significance as well from a game, for a GTA game. But yeah, more of a recent title compared to this being like an older school title. Fucking. Yeah, I think that's probably that Banshee. I believe that's probably just a regular police car there. Honestly, that's just stuff here. I don't feel there's necessarily too much to go over here that I have yet to. I don't really think the weapons are new here. There's the new character, of course, of Jodi Marshall. If there is some kind of new vehicle in here at all, I feel this could maybe be one, but even then, that could just be some old thing. It's like next to Valkyrie or something. Going underwater, but like a cargo plane, wreckage, all kind of stuff, whatever. Interesting. Yes. Believe it or not, it's not kind of the first time that they've kind of been thinking of like agent DLCs per se. There was apparently going to be an Agent Trevor / Clifford episode, like DLC thing for the single player. Back in the early days of the game, where the single player was kind of thought to be having single player DLC that they've flat out confirmed in like 2013, like 14 or whatever. That ended up never coming to fruition in full, probably because of the huge, massive success of Grand Theft Auto Online, unfortunately. However, it could just purely just been the beta version of what ended up being the Doomsday Heist, obviously, since Clifford is basically the antagonist that would end up coming out in that DLC. Though who knows, Agent Trevor thing could maybe be more of its own thing as well. Maybe it was kind of like a 2-in-1 like combo kind of thing. I don't fucking know. And yeah, I don't think any of these mission things or anything will be too significant to go through, obviously, since that would be like actual story missions for like single player probably and whatnot. Yeah, the source code leak, like the recent source code leak from maybe like a couple years or so back, whatever, maybe proved more stuff of that, basically. And then, yes, they, believe it or not, at one point we're going to have a whole entire game dedicated to like an agent, basically. Now, this game never actually ended up coming out into fruition or anything, unfortunately. It was going to be a PS3 exclusive game, but yeah, for some reason did not happen. And it seemed it was going to take players into a world of counterintelligence, espionage, and then political assassinations. So not sure if you'll actually end up doing anything of the sorts like that in this latest DLC that will be coming out. This is the only DLC that seems that will actually be fully coming out with the name Agent inside of it, so that's cool. Obviously there's characters already in the game like Agent 14, but like in terms of like a full-scale like agent themed DLC kind of, this could kind of be like the first true opportunity maybe to take stuff from this old game they were working on at one point. Who really knows? And I did kind of want to go into the vehicles list. Wonder if any of these could end up somehow coming out. So apparently in a handling.dat file, whatever, from XP free, there's a file there that has like that has vehicle handling names of both Grand Theft Auto 4 and Agent. Apparently, what would have been Agent had it actually came out and everything. And it was also being worked on and whatnot, so there could be leftovers of that in other games, like it can be proven here. Yes, Grand Theft Auto 4 and stuff would have been being worked on around the time of Agent, of course, since Grand Theft Auto 5 was a late life cycle PS3 game. And yeah, being a PS3 exclusive, obviously would have been more likely to be coming out, of course, before Grand Theft Auto 5 would have been a thing if it were to have actually came out. So you have things like the APC and stuff that would have eventually made their way into Grand Theft Auto 5 for DLCs, of like the gun running DLC, even have like the Winky that ended up making it into Perico Heist, which apparently was going to be was apparently going to be a thing in Agent before it ended up coming out there. Same with the Enduro that ended up coming out for the Heist DLC for Grand Theft Auto 9, which apparently would have appeared in Agent beforehand, it seems. If it goes off of anything here or whatever. Auto Gyro, I don't think actually ended up fully coming out. I think that's like some beta vehicle or something. There's a page for it, but yeah, I think it's just beta vehicle. Cuban 800. Hind, which I believe is a Savage. That's kind of like an early name, like a beta version of the Savage or something. Napalm, early like beta name, whatever, like the Valkyrie, I believe that it is. And yeah, both of those end up coming out like the Heist DLC along with like the Enduro. And even a Casco actually as well, if I somehow forgot to mention that. So yeah, some of these maybe were an Agent, would have been an Agent maybe before. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 had actually fully came out. Scamp is actually some unreleased vehicle, even still it has a page, but again, I think like the Auto Gyro is still both actual true beta vehicles, even still. And you even have like the Rhino in here for like one of the older examples, not even the oldest example of a vehicle in this list that actually has a page. I noticed Dune is even here as well, but maybe it was a whole different Dune, not necessarily like the kind of goofy service Dune or whatever the hell in the game right now from like San Andreas. So who knows, maybe some sort of vehicle with like any of these code names, especially like something like CS2000, C75, stuff like that ends up actually coming out into fruition or something in the DLC. But yeah, my main point going over this agent stuff is like, they kind of have some blueprints to kind of have a very good potential like agent kind of theme DLC, or if they did a DLC correctly, but I mean, the game never truly came to fruition, so whoever really knows. And yeah, maybe the source code leaks and whatnot maybe expanded on it in the last couple of years, it kind of looks like whatnot as well. But yeah, probably was being developed, of course, around the same time as Grand Theft Auto 4 and whatnot, again with Agent, probably more earlier in the PS3, since obviously Grand Theft Auto 5 is the late game for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I was more an Xbox 360 person, so not really necessarily would have been able to play Agent anyways, but whatever. Sadly, this game never came to fruition. That's finally going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.